This month we visited the iPower event in Milton, Keynes, and amongst the workshops and presentations we learned more on the Bob Premium Edition for I and explored what it offers beyond the standard edition. Hello and welcome to your IBM I update, brought to you by Proximity, your premier partner for IBM I application support and development. Now, at the beginning of the month, I visited the iPower event. Hello and welcome to a rather rainy Milton Keynes. Here I am for the iPower event. It is the beginning of June, the 1st of June in fact. Let's take you around and take a little look about what it's all about. So here we are in the first floor of the Leonardo Hotel, and here we have registration. I turn around, there's a bar there, not going to be used. Good morning all. Good morning. And then here is the main hall. Oops, morning. Of course, we have the obligatory coffee and pastries and also some bacon rolls down there too. It was a 2-day event, with the first day being dedicated to workshops. And the workshops is where all the education happens. Really looking forward to those. We have a couple of people from Proximity here too who are looking forward to those. So let me just take you into where the workshops happen. So go through the expo hall, go through this door. One of particular interest, I think will be a busy room, is the IBM I Bob and watsonx all-day workshop. The all-day session was hosted by IBM's very own Andrew Laidlaw. The workshop was split into 2 halves, with the morning session focusing on IBM Bob. Our very own Dylan, or Bob Dylan, as he's now called internally, was there, and he joined the session that included installation and setup, plus a hands-on workshop including guided examples of RPG coding, refactoring and documentation, plus the opportunity to play with it further to create your own code. The feedback from the morning session was extremely positive.
It's a very interesting workshop. It takes a little while to get it to actually do what you want it to do, expect it to do. But as you get into it, you realise that it appears to be, at least at the moment, to be something potentially very powerful.
Fabulous. And the packed room were eager to get back in the afternoon, where Andrew provided an insight into agentic AI using IBM's own Orchestrate platform. Fresh from a workshop, I took the opportunity to debrief with Andrew to discuss the session and the pathway to modernise and AI on IBM I. Now, I opened with a question on AI and asked if he felt that if AI gives the IBM I community a new way to modernise systems without having to replace them.
Tools like IBM Bob really open up the possibilities of how people understand and document their existing code, but also how they plan for the future, how they implement new capabilities, new functionality, and how they integrate those workloads, not just with all of the great tools within the IBM I system, but with external systems as well. So it's definitely going to revolutionize the way that people build for their systems and interact with their systems.
Now, due to technical difficulties, we had to re-record the interview again post-event, but you can find the video in the link somewhere below. In this, we discuss the evolving role of developers, the increasing relevance of AI agents, modernizing legacy code using AI, and more besides too. Be sure to check that out. And after a full day of workshops, sessions and conversation, the gala dinner gave everyone a chance to relax, catch up and enjoy the social side of the iPower event. These events are always about much more than the technical content. They're about bringing the IBMI community together, giving people time to talk properly, share ideas, compare experiences, and build relationships that often continue long after the conference has finished. It's also a great reminder of what makes this community so special. Good food, good conversation, and a few laughs along the way. After a day spent looking at the future of IBMI, AI and modernization, this evening was a chance to celebrate the people who continue to make this platform so very special. Now, the following morning, Scott Forstie took to the stage with the keynote opening, and he opened with a simple but important message. Your IBMI runs everything, and Bob is there to help you run it faster. And that set the tone for the session, because this was not presented as just another AI experiment. It was positioned as a practical response to the very real pressures IBMI teams are under today. The keynote then moved into how IBM Bob can help address those challenges, with Andrew Laidlaw addressing the congregation. The core message was that Bob supports productivity and modernization across these 6 key areas: understanding, explaining, refactoring, generating, transformation, and testing. 6. In practical terms, that means helping new team members understand complex applications more quickly, generating documentation and diagrams, standardizing code, accelerating new feature delivery, supporting modernization from older RPG to more modern approaches, and reducing deficit risk through generational test. There was also a strong emphasis on the developer ecosystem around IBMI. The keynote referenced OpenVSX registry and showed how IBMI tooling is increasingly available through VS Code compatible editors. Now, this matters because it reinforces the direction of travel. IBMI development is continuing to move in more modern development environments while still retaining the strengths of the platform. Another important theme was context. Generic AI tools can be useful, but they can also guess when they do not understand the platform properly. The message from a keynote was that Bob is being shaped to understand IBMI more deeply, using IBMI documentation, redbooks, and platform-specific knowledge to provide more accurate and useful responses. That is a major point for this community because IBMI development is not generic development. It has its own language, its own patterns, tooling, database, operating environment, and history. But I'll cover more on this just a little later. But the wider message from the keynote was clear. IBM is positioning Bob as a way to preserve critical business logic, reduce risk in change circles, scale senior knowledge across teams, help new developers ramp faster, and shift IBMI teams from maintenance towards modernization and innovation. Now, Bob has been busy beavering away, swatting up on IBMI, and as such, on June the 24th, the Bob Premium Package for I was released to the IBMI community. But what's it all about? And what makes it different from the standard package? Well, in simple terms, it takes the foundation of IBM Bobs and tailors it for the IBMI. The Bob Premium Package for I adds direct IBMI connectivity, RPG-focused skills, curated IBMI documentation, expert RPG code generation with IBM I nuanced refactoring, curated technical documentation, and unit test generation. And that matters because it shows IBM is not approaching AI-assisted development on the IBM I in a one-size-fits-all mindset. Instead, Bob Premium Package for I appears designed as a platform-aware assistant that understands the realities of IBM I development, from RPG application structures through to modernization pressures many organizations are facing today. It's another sign that IBM sees AI-assisted development not as a replacement for IBM I expertise, but as a way to help preserve, accelerate, and indeed extend it. The important distinction is that IBM Bob and the Bob Premium Package for I, well, they're not really competing versions of the same idea. It's just that the Premium Package for I is a version of Bob especially made for the good people on IBM I. Think of Bob as a car. Normal cars do a splendid job on the road, but when you head for the hills, you need an off-roader, yes, a 4x4. Otherwise, you'll get stuck in the mud. So yes, the Premium Package for I is the car equivalent of a Range Rover. So while IBM Bob is the broader AI development partner, the Bob Premium Package for I builds on that foundation, but takes it higher into the mountainous world of IBM I. Okay, a briefest of deep dives. This table highlights where the differences really sit. Standard IBM Bob gives development teams a general AI partner across the software development lifecycle. It can help with understanding, generating, refactoring, documenting, and automating development tasks across enterprise software projects. The Bob Premium Package for I adds a more specific IBM I lens. It is aimed at teams working with code and, well, frankly, live IBM I application environments. That changes the value proposition from general AI assistant to something more closely aligned with the way IBM I teams actually work on the box itself. So the biggest shift is actually in context. With direct IBM I connectivity and IBM I specific capabilities, Bob can move away from disconnected copy and paste usage to closer to a real application development. So for organizations running business critical IBM I systems, this is where the announcement becomes significant. The goal is not just faster code generation, it is the safer change, better documentation, improved knowledge transfer, and a more practical route to modernization without losing the business logic that already works. Great. But this stuff ain't free. Well, after the free trial anyway. Okay, so in terms of costs, the IBM Bob Premium Package for I is positioned above these base plans. So first, a customer would need to choose the appropriate plan for them. In this, Bob allows you to have a free trial with 40 Bob coins. I'll get to those in a minute. Once they've been consumed or a month has elapsed, you have a choice of 3 tiers. First, Pro at $20 per month. This is essentially a continuation of the 40 Bob coin model. So if you're an occasional coder, a solo developer, or a very small shop, this may be the tier for you. Next is Pro Plus. This provides 160 Bob coins and may be the sweet spot for most IBM I shops, while Ultra is the $200 per user per month and provides 500 Bob coins. This is the tier for heavy coding and modernization. Now, after that, I'd probably recommend that the IBM I shop purchases the premium package for I, and this is an additional $20 per month, but does contain all those nuanced IBM I niceties. So, what are Bob coins? Bob coins are essentially usage credits. Instead of just paying for the tool, you're paying for the amount of AI work you actually use. Small tasks cost very little, but bigger jobs like code refactoring or modernization use more coins. It's a simple model, but it does mean that AI becomes something you actively manage, not just switch on. So Bob coins act as a simplified way to measure AI consumption, with small tasks taking 0.1 to 0.5 coins, code modernization 2 to 5 coins, depending upon, of course, the context of that. Complex workflows, a higher usage. So it effectively turns AI into a metered resource rather than a fixed cost tool. So do be careful when you're playing around with it, as we found out ourselves. So the IBM Bob Premium Package for I is not being positioned as another generic AI coding assistant. IBM make it clear that they see the real opportunity in helping IBM I teams understand, document, modernize, and safely evolve their systems they already depend upon. So it's not just that it can generate code, but that it can work with IBM I specific context. IBM are positioning Bob as a tool or a colleague you can trust. The key point here is that AI is a powerful tool, or a trusted colleague even. But it is not the whole story. Used on its own, IBM Bob can generate code, explain logic, and speed up repetitive tasks. But without experienced people managing and guiding the work, there is still a risk of missing what really matters. The best results come when AI works as part of a team. Certainly let Bob help with the repetitive work, the documentation, the first pass analysis, and routine development tasks. Then let the developers and business experts apply the judgment, experience, and the understanding needed to make the right decisions and review that code. For IBM I, this is not about replacing developers. It's about giving teams better tools so they can modernize with more confidence. So, in closing, I'd say it's important to remember that Project Bob will not remove the need for IBM I expertise, though instead it'll amplify it. Once development becomes metered and scalable, the real question becomes who is managing it, controlling it, and making sure it delivers value. And for IBM, that's where the real opportunity sits. But Andy, I hear you say, where is the update on Common Europe? Don't worry, there will be an IBM I update special for Common Europe coming out soon. Keep your eyes peeled. But for now, that's it for your June 2026 update. For more like this, and to subscribe to the IBM I update, please see our blog on the Proximity website and on LinkedIn too. But for now, I'm Andrew Nicholson. We are Proximity, the IBM I application managed service partners that are in your corner. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.